Yo, what's going on everyone? Itscole and I'm back for another video just for you. So, as promised, welcome back to my brand new web series, Transparent. So today's episode is mainly focused on how to soothe dysphoria, mainly in your pre-T days to kind of early on testosterone. Now, I was going to do it all in one video, but then I kind of realized after some thought that dysphoria is actually, I feel like it's kind of split into two. So there'd be the first type of dysphoria that's more kind of focused on your external appearance and how you feel about it and how you interact in social situations. So all the external kind of things that people see every day. And then there's internal dysphoria that you experience, behind closed doors or just in your mind in itself, just how you really truly feel inside and just your confidence. So today's episode, I'm going to start off with the external type of dysphoria, which, as I say, is about your appearance and how you just interact socially. So these techniques, they helped to basically relieve and just soothe my dysphoria when I was pre-testosterone and, as I say, a few months on testosterone, because they helped to empower my gender expression, which is mostly masculine. So these techniques are most likely only going to help you if your gender expression is also similar. But of course, a lot of these tips are also interchangeable, so feel free to listen on if your gender expression is otherwise, as I say, you may be able to sort of flip around the technique and it may still work for you. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say gender expression or pre-T, just drop a comment below and let me know if you'd like to see that. So sorry guys, before I start, there's a couple of disclaimers just because you know how the internet is in general, especially YouTube. So some of these techniques, they may alter your appearance, and that's basically just to help make your face or your body look more characteristically male. But if you don't feel like that's going to help to relieve your dysphoria, then just don't do it. You can easily just play around with your style or with your looks and just see what works best for you. Now, I know it may come across like I'm kind of buying into society's version of masculinity and what it should be and what it shouldn't be and all the rest of it. And I won't lie, I feel like I probably am, but back when I was pre-T and early days on T, even still, they really did help me. They just helped to empower my masculinity, and they did help just to make me feel more comfortable within myself. And so if you feel uncomfortable doing some of the things that I recommend, then just don't do it, just leave it out. You don't have to follow every word I say. And finally, just make sure that you're not doing these things to try and change who you are, because it's so important to remain authentic and remain yourself and remain unique. Yes, some of these things may empower your masculinity, but make sure that you embrace and explore all the other parts of your identity, because there's so much more out there than just this. So now that we've done those disclaimers, let's get into it. So what we're going to do is start off with the basics of your dysphoria soothers, which are likely things that a lot of people would have thought of beforehand, and then we'll go into the more in-depth ones that I just kind of picked up along the way. So basics. Try a new hairstyle. Take a look at your hairstyle, and if you're not happy with it, then you can cut it, you can restyle it, whether that be more masculine or anything else that makes you more comfortable. Also, take a look at your style. It completely depends on where your style started off with, of course. Have a little look around and just sort of look at the people that you look at and think, actually, I'd like to look like that, and look at their style. And just kind of try and, create your style around that and see how it makes you feel. If you haven't already as well, just start experimenting with any new name that you have or any new pronouns as well. And once again, just sort of get a feel of that one as well. And if you don't already, start exercising, whether that be for a less curvy appearance, so focusing more on fat loss, or for a more sort of muscular physique, then of course you want to focus more on your bodyweight exercises along with your weights. Another thing that made me feel good was to buy products that were more aimed at men or had more masculine scents. So whether that be shower gel, deodorant, aftershave, anything like that, just even sort of smelling different will also make you feel a bit more empowered and just a bit more comfortable within yourself. If you want to, you could buy a new pair of boxers, or you could even look into getting a binder. Completely depends on, of course, how you're looking to look and where you're looking to be. But if you are going to get a binder, I'll say it again, I say it always, but just make sure you bind safely and make sure that you're of age to bind, because if you're still growing, it could cause quite a lot of damage. And if you haven't already, you could look more into packing. So if you don't know what I mean by packing, you just put basically something in your underwear to create the look of a bulge. So whether that be a pair of socks, or you could even go out and buy a packer. But of course that depends on how sure you are that you like it, because you don't want to waste your money, of course. Also, another thing I did was grow out any leg or armpit hair that I could. Once again, it just made me feel more comfortable. Sometimes, it did take a lot of getting used to, of course, just as anything would. So, if you don't feel comfortable with it, then take it off. There's no to the book to any of this. So just, as I say, pick and choose whichever ones make you feel good. And finally, within the basics, if you feel comfortable with it, see if you can make yourself some male friends, or some friends that are just kind of, in their expression, they're more masculine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the dysphoria relievers that I kind of discovered or picked up along the way that are a bit more in depth, and a bit more kind of quirky, a bit different. So to start off with, I tried out listening to new genres of music. Now personally, I went for kind of more old school rap, hip hop, just sort of music genres that I viewed as the more masculine kind of side of ones. But of course, whatever genres you'd like to look into, of course, whatever makes you feel good, really. So just listen to those, and I just found that being in a social situation and that song comes on, for example, and I know all the words to it, and all the other guys around me also know the words, it just felt good to be in that kind of position. And then, as I said, in the basics, finding those new male friends, or the friends that are more masculine in their expression. Once again, it's just for kind of social development. I found that I got more and more comfortable being in that kind of environment the more time I spent around those people. Then if you're looking to sort of how you feel within yourself, and if you feel a bit awkward in yourself and a bit kind of, you don't really know how to put yourself, how to place yourself, if you know what I mean. So what I mean is, I looked at the way that I used to sit, stand, carry myself. As I say, I wasn't trying to change myself, it was just more so adjusting and fine-tuning things to make myself feel more comfortable and more confident in myself. So rather than sitting, for example, in a more stereotypically feminine way with the legs crossed, then I'd sit slightly differently. You can adjust as a way you want to. But once again, play around with it, but don't try to change yourself so that you're a completely different person, or obviously not authentic. A couple of times as well, I did try to shave any sort of snail trail that I had, just because when it grows back, it appears to look thicker. It's not actually going to be thicker, but because the hairs are slightly blunted, it does look a little bit darker. So if you did want to try that out, then you can do. You can also try some mascara as well. Any sort of peach fuzz facial hair that you may have had or that you may have, you could put a light layer on that, and that will darken it off a little bit, or even just sort of on your mustache. Anything sort of that you have to work with, then by all means try that out. Some people even try to darken off their eyebrows to make them appear thicker, and stay tuned for a video that's kind of slanted towards that direction as well. That'll be in the near future for you guys. Now, one thing that I found extremely difficult within my transition was the time of the month. And that's also mainly because it lasted probably over 3 times as long as it should have. It only actually stopped at about 10 months on testosterone because my levels were wrong. So, to cope with that, because at the time, I'll admit it felt like my body was betraying me. It felt like my body didn't care how I identified. It was just going to do its thing, which is obviously, of course, it's going to do that because that's just how it functions. So the way that I dealt with it was I just pretended I'd either been in a fight or in a battle of some kind. And believe it or not, it actually did take off the edge of that dysphoria just a little bit. So when you have to use the bathroom, you're just dressing and redressing an injury, and that's all you're doing, that's all you think about it. Any pain you feel, once again, it's just the pain of that wound that you had from that fight or from that battle. So just keep pushing it into your head that that's the reason why that's happening, rather than what's actually happening. And hopefully it will take the edge off for you, as it did for me, of that dysphoria. Another thing that I found quite difficult, sort of in my earlier days of transitioning and being preteen, was kind of how to socially interact, especially with cis males. I'm the kind of person that would like to practice things before I go out and do them, pretty much no matter what it is. So what I'd actually used to do, I'd sit down and watch, YouTube search shows or reality TV, just anything that's actually real, people really interacting, and I'd look at the social subtleties within male interaction. Now, once again, I'm not saying you have to follow it to the book, but it just gave me a few little pointers to make me feel more comfortable. Say some random guy were to sit down next to me and start making a conversation, at least then I'd feel more prepared and ready to have that interaction with him more comfortably within myself. And just less worried and thinking, oh God, am I going to come across weird or this or that or the other. It's just very easy to overthink things. So yeah, I just did it just to pre-prepare myself just a little bit, give myself a bit of backup. And find yourself some kind of role model or a supportive figure who is how you'd like to see yourself, or how you'd like to carry yourself in the future, or be like, or anything else like that. Somebody that just kind of empowers you and makes you feel good about yourself. And the final one today is just find some people that are like yourself to be around. You know, it just helps to feel like you're not alone, and you know, whether they be trans people or once again more masculine people, it just makes you feel more comfortable, more empowered within yourself. So that's pretty much all of the tips and sort of techniques that I have for you today. If any of you guys have any that you'd like to add, then by all means drop them in the comments below so you can help out other people. Hope that some of these might have helped you out today. Once again, stay tuned for the next video, which is combating that internal dysphoria and just trying to kind of make yourself feel more comfortable and confident and happy within yourself. So if you have any requests, as per usual, drop a comment below and let me know. Make sure that you subscribe and like the video as well. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon, alright? Peace. Alright guys, so really quick before you go, this was sponsored by Click Shop Drop, which is my boy Stefan Zakai's brand new company. So make sure that you click on the link in the description below. Every one of your iPhone users out there, this company has got all of your iPhone accessories, it's got your cases, and these are high quality cases as well, so make sure that you grab yourself one. There's also some for 420, of course, which is today, so make sure that you grab yourself one to celebrate that, and you can use my promo code, which is Cole21, to get yourself 10% off. So make sure that you check it out, go to the description below and grab yourself a case, alright? Peace.